Secretary Kelly Loeffler says the agency has uncovered at least $1 million in PPP fraud. And the state itself is now looking into the possibility of fraud in another Medicaid program. Minnesota's Department of Human Services is now pausing the issuing of new licenses for disability service providers over concerns of fraud after an explosion in the number of applications for new licenses over the past 5 years, going up 283%, while the number of people needing those services only increased by 25%.
So then why do they need so many licenses to provide this type of assistance if the number of people who need it hasn't really changed at all? This is absolutely insane. What a massive red flag right here. The fraud is still going on. There's still people trying to get in on robbing the government. And this is happening while the meal service fraud is being investigated, and the medical service fraud is being investigated, and the housing fraud is being investigated. It looks like since disability fraud isn't being investigated, that's the new gold rush here. The fraudsters are literally adjusting as the federal government and Justice Department crack down on what's going on here, trying to get in before the door slams shut, and they too either get arrested or do what some of the other schemers have done and fled the country altogether. But here's where things get even worse.
Governor Tim Walz, who is up for re-election, is under fire for all of this happening under his watch, but he says they have investigated every claim of fraud that's come in, something whistleblowers dispute, and says the state is taking the steps it needs to keep it from happening again.
Really? Now that he knows,
we've acknowledged that this is serious, needs to stop. It is stopping. People are continuing to go to prison. I think the good news for Minnesotans to know, when that 90-day pause is over and the third-party audits are done, we will have a better picture than we've ever had, which I think is really good.
Better picture than we've ever had. Do you hear this? You know what time it is? It's December of 2025. This man would have been vice president of America for almost an entire calendar year by this point, had the last election gone differently. Do you think we have any investigations if that had happened? Or do you think this would have been covered up? Do you think that Governor Walz was the fixer for this whole operation, that he was going to make sure that what happened in Minnesota never saw the light of day, allowing schemers and fraudsters to roll out their grifts to others, sanctuary states all across the country, creating even more of a pipeline described by Dr. Oz? But we're not done yet, because as you're about to see, Minnesota isn't the fraud capital of America for no reason.
While all of these investigations are getting underway, Republican lawmakers are sounding the alarm about Minnesota's new paid leave program launching next month that allows anyone in the state, regardless of their citizenship status, to take 12 weeks of paid leave a year.
12 weeks?
Paid for by the state. GOP lawmakers say the program is ripe for abuse.
3 months.